G'day everyone. Proud to say Barkarati is brought to you by Radix Nutrition, makers of the most technically comprehensive nutrition products that have ever existed. Unlock your potential with Radix. G'day listeners, welcome to Barkarati, the sailing podcast. My name's Jordan Spencer and it's that time of the week where I get to hang out with some really cool sailors, but of course I have to share the mic with my two idiot mates. So first off, let's welcome Mr. Brett Perry.
Greetings, exalted one.
Where are you, BP?
Oh, back in Sydney. Back in rainy Sydney, I might add.
Welcome home.
My God, I left UK thinking I was in bad weather. Well, let me tell you a thing or two about rain.
Yeah, I think people in Florida are suffering more, but that's cool. Nice hoodie you got on there, my friend.
Yeah, nice hoodie you've got on there, mate. So that was a bit of a reflection, wasn't it?
Yeah.
No, all good. Yeah, well, it's not only bloody rainy, it's cold.
Oh, how are you surviving? How are you going to get there?
I know, terrible. Don't know.
Let's bring in the other bloke.
He had a voice that could make a wolverine purr.
Mr. Nick Bice, where are you?
I didn't get the uniform guidelines for this particular show. No, Newport, Rhode Island.
Welcome.
And to all those yachties out there, time to wake up. To all the yachties out there, a few that come to Newport have been as privileged as I to stay on the jailhouse inn.
Oh.
It's a wonderful establishment.
Cool.
Yeah. It's literally
Jailhouse inn.
Yeah.
It's literally an old jailhouse.
Yeah.
And I'm down in the basement.
The irony, boss. So I was just going to ask, have you been arrested by the local cops yet? You know,
not thus far. Not thus far. I've got about 6 hours left.
Yeah.
Got a clean run sheet at this point in time, but anything can happen.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Oh, cool.
Well,
it is early. It is Saturday. I mean, you never know.
That's right. But BP, one, you're back in Sydney, so it's evening time. You've got your pants on. That's a good start.
Yeah. Not in bed yet.
Over the last few weeks.
Got me jammies on.
How's the jet lag holding up for you?
We were just talking about this. I think it is because we're getting older. I've never suffered from it. The last two trips.
I've got a theory. Jordan, do you get the jet lag when you're on tour or get home?
Heading west to east is when I get it. Yeah.
So when you come back home.
Yep.
I reckon
from
what we used to do when we were young fellas, we used to come home, just catch up with our mates, go for a night on the piss. And then you kind of just get back into the flow a little bit. Whereas now, given we're all responsible adults, you know, we come home, check in with the family, adults. All those sorts of things, and don't get up to any of that foolish behaviour, and it just hits you. Doesn't pay getting old or responsible, for that matter.
The technique, I reckon, is I've started to work it out after all these millions of miles we've done. Arrive late afternoon,
Business
early
bus?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that helps. Late afternoon, early evening, and so you can go straight to bed and sleep long and hard, and then you normally switch the clock around pretty quick. So yeah.
Well, it's a long tour when you do that. When you sleep, then you're long and hard.
Yeah.
Well, I generally smashed out a good solid couple of days of real intense Zs. So I'm hoping I'm good now, though. I'm good.
Good man.
Mm-hmm.
Right, boys. Right, Barkarati, anything else you were going to go on there, Mr. Bice?
Well, no, I was going to ask, you're on tour again soon, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm up next year. I will be. Are you staying in Newport much longer?
No, Negatory. I'm heading. It'll be like ships through the night.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm off to Palma.
You're Palma.
So by the time this is being listened to, I'll be in Palma, back on the mighty Maximus, for the Palma Super Yacht Regatta. So
having a run.
Any chance of recording next week? Minimal, I would say.
Right. Well, I'll be. I've said we've plugged it a few times, but I'll be heading over for Sail GP. So I'll be in New York, leaving on Wednesday night my time. So ripping straight in and out. Going to New York for the weekend is how I'm describing it. Weekend tour to New York from Australia.
How's that go when you tell your wives friends, "Oh, just going to New York for the weekend."
The
Oh,
weekend.
you're so lucky, Jordan.
It's so
Little do they realise you're sitting in ATAF next to the toilets in the back of a plane.
Yeah, back against the bulkhead, can't put the seat back.
Oh, just copping it. Last off the plane, got to go through US Customs.
What a
Spend
nightmare.
about 3 hours there.
What a nightmare.
Yeah.
No,
Anyway.
it's not fun. All right. Right. So for our listeners, we're trying something different. We mentioned it about a month ago that we're going to try and do. A lot of people have written into us and asked just for a banter session. A lot of people like to banter. And we're going to try and start publishing occasionally, about once a month, putting video up on YouTube. Because some people might want to see how ugly we are or how silly we are. So that's what we're going for in this episode. We're going to just try and do a little shorter episodes, just a bit of banter, talk about things a bit more in depth, be a bit more knowledgeable about things and give a little more away. And
You're talking about Barker, us.
Yeah.
Being a little
Who are you getting on for this show?
yeah.
Who's the special guest?
No special guest is what I'm
Who's going
saying.
to bring on some in-depth, knowledgeable discussions?
Well, we've done enough of that, and so we want to particularly some of the letters that we get. I really do want to sort of to try and drive into some of that and pick that up. So some good ideas. Hopefully, the listeners like it. Certainly, what I would encourage in this situation is if the listeners do have any questions that they wanted us to discuss, this is the idea. So, you can send it in. We'll call it BP's Off Watch, and we'll get BP to take his pants back off and go back to lying in the prone position as we've experienced for the last month, and you guys haven't been able to see it. And we'll
That's right. So welcome to our world, listener, viewer, for that matter.
BP's Off
we've
Watch.
been doing this a long time. We've known each other a long time. It's not like I have to impress you or anything.
Well, now you got
You're not impressed.
the rest of the world to watch. So, yeah. All right. So, yeah. Anything anybody wants to jump onto before we sort of dive into the guts of the show?
Just smash it out.
Yeah.
Let's dive head first and just see where it goes.
All right.
Jordan Spencer.
I just want to congratulate Brett on the X2, so the Canadian X2.
Oh, thank you.
Looking particularly fine, quite a few pictures. I know it's been a bumpy road, but you have ridden it like a master, a rodeo master, and you've worked through the
rodeo
issues.
master. There's no that is the definition. Rodeo master emotionally as well as physically. God damn, I can tell you. But no, thank you very much. Greatly appreciated.
Producing
and I say this with all due respect, BP. You know that cartoon that you see, like the point A to point B is a nice straight line, and then the one next to it's a few squiggles, falls off the cliff, climbs back up. He ends up riding a motorbike, doing a flip, blah blah blah, and then you end up at point B. But yeah, bumpy ride, but one as we're just before the show we were just chatting about. You're talking 9 or 10 boats at this point in time. A few 4 or 5 years ago, if that was on the table, you'd be rejoicing, right? And,
absolutely.
Now
No
you're at that
question.
point, so no.
Yeah, no question. I mean, the important thing is we've been supported quite heavily, obviously through our European side of things. It's generally where the market is, really booming at the moment. Our mate at Planet Sail has been extremely supportive.
Matt.
Another little interview on the weekend, which was good, and he's seen the evolution as well. So Matt Sheehan, of course, being a very big supporter of Bacarati and the X2, he's watched it the whole time, and so he's one of the guys that sort of gets a real understanding of what's been going on.
Yeah, cool.
Nice. I got a question for you. The interview you did, he came out in a chase boat. He had a drone up as well.
Yeah.
I'm waiting to see it, gents. It's going to happen one day. Someone's going to run the drone into a chute and just destroy the spinning.
Drone and shoot. You're all in one hit. Nice and expensive.
It'll be good footage.
Yeah.
Oh, great footage.
It's like those dudes who fly them into volcanoes. Fly it into the chute. Oh, dear. The boat's looking cool, man, and you're selling more. So, the X2, Far X2, I can't wait to see it in some of the races and results. Looking forward to it.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, that's the important part now. The big part has been the move from Asia to Europe. That's been an 18-month process. If you had asked me now to do it again, yeah, there'd be no chance.
Yeah,
But 18,
shove that up your ass. No
yeah,
chance.
stick that where the sun don't shine, I can tell you. But no, it's been a huge amount of work just to get this boat out. The beauty is, as I said, is that boat number 7, boat number 6 officially is, Nelo in Portugal's their first attempt, which is a process of learning. But boat number 7 has taken them 6 weeks. And basically now the boat's being fit out. So we're going to be taking that boat to England in the best part of probably 3 to 4 weeks finished.
Wow.
Nice.
Wow.
So we're talking about inside our 2-month criteria to have a boat at least at the shipping phase. Obviously there's a commissioning and race setup mode, but that's what it's about. If an owner can sort of lock in 2 months, then we're good.
Very cool.
Beauty. Hey,
Not about us.
before we
Move on.
do, just whilst we're at the head of the top of the show, gents,
Yeah.
a quick mention. You've heard me crap on about it for many, many years about the Teakle Classic.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Just in the last 24 or 36 hours at time of recording, we've lost the stalwart of that, as in Peter Teakle.
Oh, no.
Has passed. A super generous man. His sponsorship with not only yachting in the community of Port Lincoln, but a whole bunch of other things. Is going to be sorely missed. The Teakle Classic will continue, so I will be crapping on about it for quite some time. Chatting with his son, Ben Teakle, quite a while ago. The Teakle family have committed to keep.
Well, the trophy's going to have to be the Peter Teakle Memorial, right?
Yeah, so, but a big loss for the Port Lincoln community and the race itself. Was always having Peter around was super valuable.
I just remember the hat with the feather. I just don't think it'll ever be forgotten.
Well, no one will ever forget that ostrich feather, let me tell you. So.
All right. Yeah.
So a big shout out to the Teakle family.
Yep.
And it's going to make for a super special event come
Oh,
February.
see, I'd like to see you take it. I'd like to see you take that on in honour.
Well, that's probably a negatore. In other news as well, which you may have seen, I've had to step down from my Commodore duties at the Cruising Yacht Club of South Australia.
Too much oil in the car park.
Too much. I got the EPA has been on to me. It said, "Bice, you're out."
The Land Rover's out using its use by date and staying in the car park for too long.
It's very hard to keep your whites white.
In fairness, yeah.
In fairness, I haven't been able to deliver from a being on site point of view.
Yep.
Just given my commitments, work wise, travel wise, family wise, a whole bunch of different things. So I thought it only fitting to hand over to my fellow flag officer. So Mike Holmes will see out the next 3 months until the AGM is held. So yeah, be careful, Mike. Just you might need to put chains on the tyres to get in and out of that particular car park. But
well, he's looking forward to extremely long emails explaining each week.
Yeah, I was just going to say, doesn't he have to own a boat? Has he sold his boat?
Yet to be confirmed, but I believe someone told me something. But have offered him the Barcarati Express.
There you go.
You can't take the name, by the way, Mike.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to the reports. No, so Michael's standing for me. That's the whole way it's all set up with the succession for the next 3 months, given specifically around the America's Cup commitment overseas and stuff. That and Di Schwert will step into his boots, and then see what happens at the AGM.
All right.
But
Right.
shout out
You'll
to
be
all
right.
the members. Tough decision, but one that was, I think, in respect to the members, required.
Okay.
100%.
Yeah,
I've still got the white, so don't worry about that.
Say all the Commodores around Australia just like hanging their heads, just devastated. The loss of the Bice from the clan. Oh dear! All the flamingos are down.
Vice Commodore's going to live on though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, don't worry about that.
Yeah.
And given we're now like this monthly video, I might even
Pull
wear
the
my
whites out.
whites in honour.
Oh,
I love
that
it.
would be fantastic.
Cool.
All right. What we might do is we'll keep a few of our topics and just expand on them a bit more. So I do want to just raise awareness that coming up we do have a few events. The Tour Voile June 26th to July 14, which is the old Tour de France. Do you guys remember that one?
Oui, mon ami. Absolutely.
Voilà, yeah. So it's been going since, I don't know, 78 or something. It was in monoholes, and then we saw the DM24s. And then I think from 22, the Figaros have jumped into it. But that is a great event. I think they're going to go around those Figaro 3s this time around. So crews of up to 4 sailors. So that will be kicking off from Dunkirk, I think. It's the start. But I just thought people would be interested in that one because that is quite a good one. I quite like that. Any input on that, boys?
Well, I think back in the day,
back in the day, I was about to go back in the day, boys.
If you hadn't done back the Tour de France, Tour de Voile, who were you as a yachty?
Yeah, no.
I remember in the Mum
Do you
30
remember
days.
Mum 30, sponsored by Sony? You all had a Sony chute, the blue Sony chute, and off you took.
And you got a free Walkman, man.
You got a free Walkman, and drove it like you stole it. Do you reckon they gave a fuck about the boats?
No,
Absolutely not.
And yeah, it's like north of France all the way down, and then even into the Mediterranean from memory.
It was a huge event. Yeah, and I hope that it can come back.
Yeah, well, and a lot of the French Sail GP team were all together on a boat, and now Orient Express in the America's Cup. You know, that team effectively came from that race. So yeah, more power to it. The other one that's kicking off at the end of the month, June 30, is the Transat Quebec Saint-Malo. Which is class 40s, the Ocean 50s, open monos, so 45 to 65, and open multis 45 to 60. So it's a non-stop crewed west to east transatlantic race every 4 years since 1984. So from Quebec and then crossing the Atlantic by ending the English Channel. 10th edition of the race. Another good one.
Another cracker.
Yeah.
Another one the French are behind.
Well, and also finishing in Saint-Malo.
Love a good yacht. Love a good yacht.
Tough little place to finish into. You know, like the very tidal. Lots of water flowing around there. So,
and I can tell you, coming from there the last couple of months, it is insane.
Is it?
Yeah,
insane. Yeah. Cool. The other one I want to mention, my friends, is Merlin Rocket Week.
Oh, the Merlins.
30 June to 5 July. I think Salcombe Yacht Club. Their principal stomping ground. So, you know, we
it's
do
the Mecca. It's the Mecca of Merlin rockets.
Did you end up sailing the Merlin?
I didn't because time didn't allow, but I have had a very close look at, the day that I was supposed to go out, of course, was raining, and you know my contract
clearly stipulates.
It's very strict. Clearly stipulates Appendix C, Item I believe it is. No rain, and it was raining. Pulled the pin. But I have had my hands. All over one of the things. One of the brand new ones. One of my mates, Gareth, up there, has put it together, and you'd love it, Jay. Oh. There is tinker bits for everything.
Yep. No, definitely.
Is the boom high enough to get the scone under?
Well, you'd have to customize that probably.
That is an issue. That is a big issue. For those who are just discovering bar karate because we've gone to video on Facebook, we occasionally do a feature on classes, and you know, Merlin Rocket class we featured a few months ago, and you know, one of the great things that happens when we do feature a class is that we keep the banter. We get a lot of banter backwards and forwards. Apologies, sometimes we don't write back because we've got a million emails we've got to deal with, but we get a lot of information, and we're very happy to promote the crap out of any class. You know, like Bicey's rides the rainbow, you know, like, you know.
Bring back the rainbow. Oh, how good's it going just quietly?
Just quietly.
The campaign.
Yeah.
Got a whole month of celebrating the rainbow.
There's more boats in build at the moment than there were in the Port Lincoln Yacht Club in Don Henson's back garage in 1987. In Port Lincoln.
But it just shows the growth. It shows the growth of the class.
Well, and the home build element, BP, you know, getting people back into sailing, like, and teaching the skills.
We're still exploring that. That hasn't gone away. Obviously, been a bit busy the last couple of weeks to have put my finger any harder down on that little button, but we're going to be looking into that over the next couple of weeks.
Well, the yacht
stand
clubs,
by for that one.
Yeah, the yacht clubs are doing the rainbows though. They jumped onto it. They put the fathead rigs on. So it's
well, and the beauty is, if you've got a ruler and a jigsaw, you can build a rainbow. There's plenty of straight
even
lines.
If the ruler's not, even if it's one of those old steel rulers that are a bit bent.
Yeah, plenty of straight lines. Not too much curvature going on.
All right. Okay. All right. Let's step across and talk about Jack Lloyd Listener of the Week. Yes. We're going to really fire some stuff up. So Jack Lloyd was the great man who was race director for the Ocean Race, the Volvo Ocean Race, for many editions, and then did a lot of stuff for around the world as in all sorts of capacities. A great man and friend of ours who's passed, and so we do name this whole segment after Jack, and he was probably our most passionate listener until he passed, I think. One could add.
Here.
And our friends at Vycobi, who do all the performance and action wear, have been embracing this. And so what we do, a listener of the week, just talking about things that are coming on, but every month our friends at Vycobi have been offering $200 voucher, $200 Aussie dollar voucher for the best contribution to the listener of the week for that month. The last month, they put forward a $300 brand new Hamilton all-weather jacket. It was won by Snodey.
One David Snode.
Snodey, as in one person. I mean, we know nearly 500,000 people around the world, so we know a lot of our listeners. So Snodey won it, but there's been a protest from Jody Shields. Now, Jody, apart from sitting in a sauna and taking photos of him sweating, is quite well known in Sail GP, and he put in a protest. He thought that he had done enough, and he's put in a protest. And Pat, the people behind Vycobi have seen this protest, and they understand that, Jody's a passionate man.
I mean, the lure of the Hamilton all-weather jacket,
the lure.
It doesn't surprise me.
The lure, yeah.
Exactly.
And it does make you speak out, especially when you're in a sauna, releasing all the emotions that come with that. It must have just been too much for him.
I mean, before you do go into the detail, though, Jordan, just a reminder to the listener that Snodey was the recipient of last month's Listener of the Month.
Correct.
Due to using another form of communication. He sent us a video. And, of course, loves a freebie. Crapped on about all the other sponsors that we have as well. Not as though there's too many. He didn't have to write a long list, but he did mention them. He had the Bar Karate T-shirt on. He spoke about Radix, and then of course wanted
sailing
a
a 5-0.
Sailing a 5-0. He didn't mention
Well, that had to
rainbow.
come up.
So
That's kind of why.
Technicality.
That's kind of why
sure.
you sort of leant towards it, wasn't it, Jay?
Well, I was the one that didn't vote for Snodey. You two blokes.
Yeah, no.
So
it was funny though.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. And then Jody's come back, and his video's up on our Facebook page, and it's also on the Insta page where he's protested again from his hotbox. And so,
just quickly though, I have received many notices from Facebook saying that they need to pull that video down. We cannot have some bloke sweating his ass off in a hot box being spread around the internet like that. Otherwise,
there was restrictions.
Otherwise, you are going to be banned, Bar Karate.
Ignore it.
You can no longer post.
Ignore it. We'll just keep putting it up there. But here's the deal for the listener. You can email us at cheers@barkarate.com, or you can send us a note on Insta. We prefer the email, but otherwise, you're more than welcome to send us in video or audio. But at this stage, Jody Shields is winning the Hamilton jacket, all-weather jacket from Vycobi. We do not want that to happen.
He's a neck ahead, yes. He's a neck ahead.
We do not want that to happen.
Literally.
We absolutely do not want that to happen. So please contribute anything. You can just send emails, but please, if you've got a great video, be more than happy to take it and share it and have as much fun as you want. You don't have to give us free plugs, but just anything you want to talk about, just do it. Okay, but
you always do a copy. If you have a hot box, you could do a copy version of it.
No, do something else. Anyway, All right, moving on. So we want to make sure you beat Jody. Okay. Right. So let's go to some
point.
of the...
Well done.
Yep. Some of the letters that we want to go through. One is Hey Peters.
I love the fact you call it letters as well.
Emails.
We're reaching into the mailbag.
Into the mailbag, yeah.
And the lucky winner is...
Thanks, Winky Dink.
Hi guys, just received this. So this is Hey Peters. I've just received this update from ORC. You mentioned the growing popularity of ORC in Europe recently, and what are your thoughts on the weather routing based rating? It'll be interesting to watch how this approach works. Now, you guys across this? Because I can.
No.
Okay.
Please tell.
Had a chat to Nigel Holly about it, and go on.
All right. So the ORC double-handed world champs have just been, and as part of that, they're using this new methodology for calculating. So the ORC, the world WRS method utilizes each entry's polar performance data combined with the latest high-resolution weather models to determine a time-on-time rating for each boat. The ORC VPP and ORC rating provide the theoretical performance of each boat under various wind speeds and condition. Each boat is rated on the predicted conditions for the entire course. This method is an improvement from our previous systems, which was based on the average wind conditions. And they believe that this new method will set the standard for the future of offshore racing scoring. Basically, it's saying it's just going to do your basically look at your polars. Yep. And how close you get to your polar numbers. And that proves which boat's sailing the best. You know, like if you're at 98% and somebody else is at 97%, well, then in theory.
Assuming the polars are right.
Yes.
Determined by ORC.
There's a whole bunch of other issues, determined on tidal influences and all these influences that happen in a race course that are going to affect it. So it's a very complicated algorithm to try and work out. I think. I mean, people will probably say, "Nah, it's all easy," but there's not. There's a lot more going on out there.
Do you think that designers will?
The day and the age isn't right now to do that sort of thing, though. When was it?
Yeah, no, it's right.
We got
it's a comment I was going to make then.
The technology's there.
Yeah, it was a comment I was just about to make that I am all for looking and exploring for this type of technology and use, and I think that gone are the days of having a boat at 9.2 meters with a spinnaker of 103 square meters, and that's your rating. You get all these different numbers that are collywobble really, but there's got to be a way of doing this with a bit more technology.
Which is basically what they're trying to do. It'll come up in hot time because I'll be sharing my screen. But I'm literally right now looking at the New York Vendée track of Jeremy Bayou and looking at the overlay of the weather. It is complicated.
Yeah.
Super
100%.
complicated.
But I think it's good. I mean, if they can make it work, I love it. You know, I just, we can't race one design in keelboats because there's so many different designs and stuff out there. The only thought I had was, I wonder how often you'll get a designer do polars and then rating polars.
Yeah. Well, that comes down to the old self-management again, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
No?
Yeah, but the polars are determined by ORC.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not the designer. Not the designer.
Okay.
Yeah, they're your legal numbers.
Yeah. So it's opened up another, what I reckon, just a massive one for the designers to influence as much as they can. It's good.
It's a good one.
Cool.
We got another email. I was just about to say letters and don't say that. I'll get smashed.
Another letter. Yeah. Got another letter.
Helen Warnock.
Hang on, I'm just opening it. Get your envelope knife.
Just went down to the post office, picked up the letters.
Got my letter opener out.
Okay. I'll just open it up.
Yeah. So Helen Warnocky. Hi, Barkarati crew. Love your podcast. Been listening for at least 2 years now. Every week. Love that, Helen. Thank you. This week, though, after sailing a regatta on the Gold Coast, bad news, Habby Regatta, one that I've raced and won as a crew many times, just thought I'd drop a line. Love the podcast, Helen. Where are the crew? I love sailing. Without any family influence, I found my own way to sailing through the dinghy club down the road. Lucky enough to see the Sydney to Hobart fleet rounding the Iron Pot from my bedroom window. I was hooked. As a crew at 14, I did the Mirror Worlds in Tasmania, spent summer sanding and polishing the hull of my ex-boyfriend. Yes, I was keen. We didn't do so great, but that was enough. I was on the path of no return. No more detail on the relationship. Sorry about that. Now sailed for more than 40 years as a crew on many of the off-the-beach boats, Hobie 16s, Nacra 5.8s, VX1s, Etchells and yachts. I'm still sailing and racing at 60 and just as keen. I'm female. There are many of my peers that I love to catch up with at every regatta. I love our sport. Awesome. Never have dreamed of being a skipper, but as a crew who's paid my way, I've sailed so many nationals and world titles I can't even count. As a crew, I've been at the top end of our fleet, and while I haven't paid the huge dollars that all our skippers and yacht owners pay, my commitment is just the same. As a crew...
Good comment, that's a good comment.
We have particular skills that are so important. Mind reading, weather forecasting, boat polishing. We can calm our skippers at the worst of times and bring out their best. We make sure they have water and shackle keys on the boat. We count down the start, pick the ley lines, gently tell the bad news and how fabulous we are when we get the shift. I'd love Parkerati to showcase a crew very soon. As a lifelong female sailing crew, I'd love your podcast and have enjoyed every single one. Love you to find more crew. Helen Warnicky. Okay. Look, I know we've
very valid. Go though.
We've had heaps of crews on, but
you're a crew. I'm a crew.
Yeah, we've had heaps of crews on. Like Will Ryan. There's millions of them. You go through the list. But I'll restate Helen's email in a different way. I think what she's asking for us is to more look at the crew, focus what the crew does. So actually, because she's 100% right, team sport, a classic example is a taser. If you want to win in a taser, you've got to have a shit hot crew, because most of the boat speed stuff, the van comes to the front of the taser, and that's everything on those things. So you've got to have someone that's switched on. So, and it's the same on all boats, like a good crew can a good crew on the wire can stop a helm having to turn the rudder. You can steer the boat from the wire. It's easy. So all those things, I think what Helen's saying is focus on the crew. Let's not discount. Let's,
not forget, lest we forget.
Yeah. Hear what you're saying, Helen. Great point. Love it.
100%.
Absolutely love it. I will say that nearly everyone that's been on the show has been a crew, but we've just not generally focused in on.
I think what you're saying is right, Jay. What you're saying is right. Is actually focusing on the crew's role.
Yeah, the elements of it a bit. Yeah,
and the accolades that get forgotten. I think she says it here. She says calming the skipper down, telling him how good we are when we're right, and slowly letting him know the bad news when we're not right. There's all of this.
Well, he should have gone left for starters.
Yeah, that's right.
You idiot.
I told you. Left at Albuquerque.
Yeah. Oh, dear.
Agree.
Cool. So, we take that one on board. I think the rephrasing of it probably makes it a bit more important. The other one I do want to mention is we've got a bloke that's sort of covered off on everything. His name is Austin Wade. Good morning, gentlemen. My name is Austin. I'm from the Midwest of the USA. Go to school in Rhode Island. I also started working as a boat builder for a local company, so a junior boss. So while pursuing an engineering degree, I'm also on my way to becoming a carbon tech and hope one day to be able to design the boats I'm building. You guys have opened my eyes to tons of new boats, races and people to follow and try to race. I finished listening to your recent episode, had some thoughts I hope you all will enjoy. You guys have talked about wind shear, and it reminded me of the fact that my grandfather, the person I grew up sailing with, and how the crew has made a bingo sheet for a race we're doing this summer of common sayings he has while racing. One of them being cursing out wind shear. The race is called the Supermac, the longest freshwater race. Figured you guys might find it interesting. Some other events that may interest you in the Great Lakes area, the Chicago Mac, July 13 to 15. Yes. I think we plugged that the other week.
I will be there. I will be in that area. But I'm obviously not going to have time to do the race. I would love to have done that race.
One of my favourite races I've done.
And it is going to be, you've done it. Is going to be a race that we're going to be doing on the X2. So stand by on that one. Yeah, go on.
The Super Mac, continuation of the Bayview Mac, July 2022. The Ugotta Regatta, 27 to 28 July.
You got to do that one.
Yeah. And then he also found an article talking about orcas and an attempt at an explanation of why orcas are attacking sailboats, and he sent the link below. I really appreciate this. I have read the article, but I have my own theory, gentlemen, about why the orcas are attacking sailboats.
Oh,
I'm certain I'm right.
I was wondering what you were reading there. This is actually your theory.
No, well, he gave us a link to an article where there is a whole discussion around it. I think it's in the public. Plenty of people have seen it, so we won't read it.
You're going to expand on it.
Okay. So I was listening. I was thinking about this. The reason that whales are attacking boats is that they've got the History Channel now.
Right. The David Attenborough as well. He's on.
Well, he's probably old enough to remember a bit of whaling back in the day.
That's
so
right.
Yes.
I'm guessing this is the way you're going, Jordan.
Yeah. So, but like the in Sea World, those orcas are getting the History Channel.
So you're saying they're pissed off?
Yeah, they didn't know that they were hunted so badly. They've forgotten, and now they're seeing the History Channel. All the hunting, and then there's been a few documentaries come out. I think something called Blackfish or something. About orcas and how they've been treated. And the way they live in those pools with SeaWorld.
So you're saying they've actually seen footage of them all in SeaWorlds around the world, and that's it.
Free Willy used to be their favourite show.
That's right.
Didn't know Willie was caught up in all this.
This is what 100%. I'm saying. I'm hypothesising that they've got the History Channel.
Fine. I love your hypothesis, but why are the sunfish so pissed off?
Well, gents, I was going to mention. This will come up.
Attention seekers, that's it. They don't give a fuck.
Coming up in hot time.
Yeah.
Here in Newport, Rhode Island, the TPs have been sailing, and without the greenies fully ripping every yachting regatta apart, there is the amount of wildlife out on the racecourse is not been seen before. Sunfish.
Did I see
Sunfish
a boat
have
damage?
had a little hit. The basking shark
Oh, did I? Yeah, this was the rudder of one. Yeah,
has taken out destroyed the rudder on the
stock stayed together and the fin just
platoon. No, the stock snapped between the bearings.
Oh,
but the blade completely gone.
Wow.
Never seen anything like it.
So, are you saying the basking shark has now got a surfboard?
The basking shark does have a surfboard, but he's certainly got a few points in the orca stakes as well.
Wow, that's a tough shark.
It must be like some global.
Do you think it's like a global phenomenon that's taking place?
Oh, word's out.
Do you think?
100%.
Do you think that we started this with the Sunfish Union, and so they got pissed, and then they passed on the word around the unions?
Not only do they have History Channel, but they've also got the podcast, got Spotify.
They're listening. They're listening. They're one-upping each other.
They all get together once a year and have a big discussion about how to get back at us.
So currently, Bob the basking shark's winning because he did a bloody ripping job.
Well, he's solo. He's not a union. He's a union unto himself.
Oh no, he's a union. There was about 15 of them altogether.
Oh, really? Is he sharing his new board?
Oh, absolutely. He's using it as a toothpick.
Yeah.
Love it. Well,
splintered
I hope
carbon.
It'd be good if we didn't hit any seaborne creatures.
No, correct. That would be best. But that aside,
numbers are huge.
we don't. Yeah.
All right. Moving
on.
on.
Are you going to continue on with young Austin Wade's email because he lost a boot apparently?
Oh, did he? Did I miss that?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, I can continue. I've got it here. He said, I also had a question having to do with 505s.
Oh, yeah?
I've primarily raced keelboats all my life, but as I moved to the East Coast, I've had an opportunity to start crewing on a 505. Yep. I had a pair of Vycobi high-cut boots that I was using as my footwear, but unfortunately I lost one on the bus.
Right.
Reminds me of a joke. Hey, Austin, did you lose a boot? No, found one.
So there is a guy out there who's found a Vycobi high-cut boot. Wondering if you had any tips on what kind of footwork to use high-performance dinghies.
What did you used to run back in the day, Jordan?
I knew this was going to be asked. So I
volleys, Dunlop volleys.
I sail in very warm climate. Okay, so I don't need boots. And I used to run these little ballet slipper things, these full rubber. They were the grippiest things. They were super lightweight.
That explains everything, doesn't it,
It
Bryce?
does.
Well, it suits your legs. You got legs of a ballerina. So.
Were they the little pink ones with the pink
Yes.
ribbons and stuff with the little hard toes on the end?
No, nothing
So you
hard
could
about it.
stand on your
No,
that you could stand on your toes.
But they were this sort of rubbery thing. Like, I don't know where I found them. But yeah, I used to run
Reef
these
walkers,
things.
mate, is what you're talking about. Reef
And-
walkers.
But yeah, like reef walker thing, but super thin, and they were grippy as bugger and just so flexible. So I could get even, didn't matter what the wind strength was. But look, just anything that's got good grip, I would argue don't do that because your feet can take a hammering. But yeah, I encourage on the wire. You want something that's not big and heavy and clunky. But if you live in cold climate, you got to do it. But yeah, I think something's a little more flexible so you can really work the boat with your feet.
Yep.
Is what I would argue. But yeah. Vycobi makes some great boots. There's plenty of good boots manufactured out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just
I do have one to add to this little session if you want to, boys. I don't know if you saw it. The guys from the offshore race in Hamble. Now, I didn't see them, but they've arrived and they've come in on the dock with their
the Crocs.
pants on and their socks pulled up to their knees with a pair of Crocs on.
Mate, if this isn't like just the fashion that needs to happen in our sport,
We might get that up onto
we've
our
gone
site.
the wrong
Matthew
direction.
Matthew Knight sent it in from us. Now, I was there that day and I'm surprised that, obviously we're an audio podcast, so they don't know us by face.
too many. Yeah. No, this is going to change.
I was there that day. I mean, I remember looking at the pictures. It's that day.
yeah,
So-
there you go.
Too
There
I
you
was
many.
go.
probably
Crocs.
right there. I should have noticed the Crocs. I'm sorry,
Too many
Matthew Knight.
Crocs. We've seen. I get.
And
Go on.
have you got any more to add here with the listener of the week stuff?
No,
Jordan?
that's it. That's it.
No, I've got just a few shout outs. One to Eve Ramsey.
Mhm.
She's asking about the hoodies. We've finally pulled our finger out.
Yep.
Hoodies are currently in print at the moment. Jordan Spencer has quite reluctantly put his hand up to be the dispensing officer. Given I'll be home for about 3 weeks over the next 3 months, you might be waiting a while.
And I'm totally unreliable.
But I'm sure we can find some dropship set up. Anyway, they'll be on the website very soon enough,
Yep.
ready to go.
Yep.
So that'll be the place to get them. Now, when I arrived here, gents, we're first stop, Fastnet Pub, Newport, Rhode Island. Caught up with former listener of the week, former listener of the year for that matter, John Schaefer.
One John Schaefer.
Went and had a beer. A little catch up, listening to everything going on in the Ministry of Sailing.
Yep.
Swimmer, and what he is actually doing and what he's creating with the safety swimmer side of things as well. Very, very informative. So if you get an opportunity, go check it out. Ministry of Sailing YouTube. There's plenty of info going on there. Doing great
So
work.
he is a real
for our
person
sport.
then, Bryce, is what you're saying.
He is a real person. He was generated before ChatGPT, believe it or not. And
Right.
look, we haven't met him before. We've had various conversations. He's been on the show, but everything you could imagine. Everything you can imagine.
Yep.
So
Very cool. Very
good stories, good banter.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
shout out, John.
There you go. Cool.
It's hot time with Bice.
Always funny. Never going to be.
I did see
not
before
funny.
you go on, a little Facebook thing come up yesterday, and I tried to save the picture. It was hot pants with a Kraken on it, and I thought if we could have a pair of hot pants
Yeah.
each with Kraken on it with Velcro strips down the side. We could
Whip them
live.
off.
We could do the
Yeah. So, boys, this is super serious.
Right.
Current time of recording is Saturday,
Mhm.
June 15th.
yes.
This will be going to air June 16th.
Correct.
Something extremely substantial, June the 18th. I'll give you one guess each.
You'll be in Palmer.
Oh, that's one. Yeah. All right. 5-year anniversary of Bark Riding.
Oh, it is too.
Is it?
5 years, June the 18th.
Oh, happy
We've
anniversary.
been doing this.
Wow.
Happy
Jesus.
anniversary. It's been a pleasure, gents,
Yes.
to be able to, be blessed with your the pleasure's all yours. Blessed with
My
your
wife's
presence.
sitting here and she's going, 5 years of this.
Of listening to this shit.
They're so lucky.
But
Our
congratulations.
wives are so lucky.
I've got to thank them, yes, and my kids, yes. They're
Absolutely. It
putting up
takes
with
a bit of discipline.
It does.
We don't have a back room like Bice, do we?
No, well,
Well,
you
that-
don't have a basement at the jailhouse either. So
No.
it's in solitary.
Dear.
Rightio. So congrats. 5 years. Here's to 5 more. If you don't like us, send money.
That's correct.
Haven't got any money yet.
You haven't received any. That hasn't gone well, has it?
No. No.
Maybe you've left it down the post office with all the letters, Jordan.
Cash arrives in the mail.
All right.
Lost it all.
Hot topic, right? Well, literally for me, the TP Super Series,
Oh, yeah.
second regatta of the season, held here in Newport in collaboration with the New York Yacht Club Race Week, of which they had the Round the Island race yesterday, which has split the TP regatta. They've had 2 days of Windward Lords, currently, and got 2 days to go. Time of listening, there'll be winners and grinners. Going to be hard to not see Quantum at the top of the list.
They've been going well, haven't they?
Currently, 17, but very consistent. Very consistent. They're sailing very well. But highlight for me at this point in time has to be Value.
Yep.
At the moment, currently running in second, a clear second
Yep.
for that matter.
Yep.
Gladiator in third.
Oh,
So-
come on. Gladiator on 32, Allegre on 32, Sled on 32.
Well, yeah,
It's all going all
alphabetically.
Yeah.
So but basically the top tour reaching out. And Value, that's with a ninth as well in
Yeah.
second.
Yeah.
Only 2 points behind.
Yeah.
First. So
Oh, they've made their
as
commitment.
mentioned, Platoon with the identified floating swimming object. But mind blowing. There were a bunch of very well respected individuals in the industry just looking at it going, holy shit,
Yeah.
how does that happen?
Yeah, amazing.
How does that
Amazing. Yeah. Well, it's been a good week for damage, is all I'll say.
Big week for damage. And I was literally on a call with one of my colleagues from Future Fibers, and we're both watching it on the screen at the time when the whole thing.
Hang on. We've got to clarify exactly what you're watching here, bud.
Well, there was an incident, let's say,
Are we
in
talking
the Super Series. For that
Oh, okay.
matter,
Yep. Go
in
on.
the Super Series. And instantly, of course, we think, what one of our products, has there been any sort of failure? But then, to see basically no rudder. So,
Yep.
interesting.
Okay, I thought you might have
Um,
moved to Alingi. That's all. That's cool.
No.
Continue.
No. Then what else have we got going on? Oh, you'd like the
I've got one.
Yep, go.
go.
Around the Island race in the UK was today,
Oh,
as we speak. Yeah.
Have you got
so,
some? Have you got
I've got some hot. I've got hot off the press results.
Oh, here
Now,
we
this
go.
is only
It's a great
only
event.
just would have only
Great
just
event.
finished. I'm assuming. Last update, bloody and blah blah blah. Anyway, let's just go through the laps positions at the moment. Highland Fling 18. This is overall line honours.
Yep.
Oceans. Don't know what sort of boats they are. Notorious. Baraka GP. Van Newton-Rost in 5th. Then it's Incisa retired. Signwider retired. Savar retired. Vivalu Zulu retired. Phantom retired. Man Max retired. Everyone is retired.
Breeze
The entire
on.
fleet.
Windy or
And
no
I'm
wind?
looking at the fleet. Windy. And I'm
Absolute
looking at
new king.
Right.
it says the whole right down. It says retired right down to position best part of I don't know. Must be in the hundreds.
Yep.
Did not compete.
Wow.
So
So we've had a big
the Highland
big
Fling
day
18,
in
that is a gunboat 80.
Yep.
Correct, yes.
Of which I just prior to this call, this recording, a video of Highland Fling just smoking along.
right. Well, there
Everyone
you go.
helmets on, wet weather gear on.
Fantastic.
So yeah,
So you can see here, if you look at IRC overall, there's Notorious in 1st, Baraka GP 2nd, Van Uden-Rost in 3rd, and from then on it's retired.
Wow.
wow.
So
Well, we all remember.
So
was
we're
it
talking about
2
990 boats entered,
5 finished.
and well, minimum have finished.
Yeah,
Let's have a look. IRC Group 3, for example. We're doing this live.
Great TV.
IRC Group 3. Yeah, great TV. Great. First was Whooper and Fixation, both retired.
Oh,
First, second, and third retired.
right. We got the message. We got it. People can go check.
There you go.
Got what you're going to say, boss? You got?
All right. No, I was going to say, let's not forget, was it this time last year that there was a couple of rescues required?
Yep.
With around the world. A couple of boats flipped over. So it was a bit of carnage. So be a bit of, I could imagine the feeling on some of those boats. Anyway, moving on.
Yep.
Fin Worlds.
Oh, the Fin Masters Worlds. Yeah.
Yep. In Italy.
Yeah, in Punta Ala. Congratulations, Lauren. Hey.
Hey.
Hey, who?
Yeah, no, it was a beauty. Like, he won with 9 points. Second was Valerian Lebrun on 10 points, and then Martin van Meerden from the Netherlands on 12 points. It was down to the absolute last few meters of the race. So I think, like, I'm not massive across the fins, but Laurent, I think he's like had seconds and thirds at the Worlds and hasn't won it. And right to the finish line, he had to pass two boats right on the finish line. Did a little tack 50 meters out, and one got in front by a meter, and that got him.
Oh, that's a cartwheel off the back of the boat moment, isn't it?
Yeah.
Bloody good one. Bloody good one, eh?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But glamour conditions. So it's a bit of a resort, camping sort of resort where they held it. And the fin, lost its Olympic spot, has not diminished. It's just got bigger and bigger and bigger.
Stronger and stronger.
Yeah.
You think the bloke was a bar karate listener? He should have gone left, lads.
The only thing I'm wondering, it's just a genuine thought, boys. Is the fin doing so well because it's great camaraderie, great boat, or is it doing well because it's, one of the few dinghies for big dudes?
Normal-sized humans.
Normal-sized humans.
I think it's both. I think it's both because there's, you got to say that the normal-sized human's not too concerned about having a couple of sausages after racing and a beer or two.
Yeah, well, as you boys know, I've got a fin, and I've used it. I bought it a year ago, and did the Fin Queensland States day one.
Won the start.
Yep. First start was my first sail. They got a great program. You sail in the morning, then long lunch all afternoon for both days. Great idea for old normal-sized blokes. And then I've used it once after, because I'm always, like you guys, we're always somewhere doing something. And I'm not going to be there for this year's for the States. So they said, you can charter my boat. They've told everyone. My phone is rung hot. There is a lot.
Oh, really?
A lot of large size or normal sized humans looking to go for a yacht on a fin. Literally, the phone just non-stop ringing just to try and grab a fin. It's insane. So there's a lot of desire to sail those things. The Masters World.
I think you touched on it, boss, Jordan. I think you touched on it that it is a class that is for normal-sized humans.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
So having sailed in Punta Ala before,
one
thing I really remember, and I thought it was, kind of Italian style, was the gelato shops. A lot of gelato shops down along the front there.
Love it.
And given the bunch of Fin Master sailors, they would have been nothing left.
It all adds up, doesn't it? They go to these places. That's why as well. They go to the places where there's good food, good wine, good beer.
I wish I'd known. I would have gone. Absolutely would have gone. I don't mind a bit of gelati in my world. Very cool. I've just got.
So I've got here, boys, the New York Vendée race.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I am going to share my screen.
Okay.
This won't take it away, just from the listener's point of view. How's this?
What a race it was. I was glued to this, to be honest.
Pretty good. So here we go. We've got it right.
Yep.
She's up there.
Up there.
You got that? Participants can see. Let's just zoom out a little, and that's. Or I'll just move you over there. Let's look at, I believe it was last week, Brett, we were discussing, this is when Boris was in the north.
Yeah,
Way in the north. There he is.
There he is. Look at that. So I believe, and so Boris was in the north. Charlie Darlin came through with the win.
Yeah.
Of course, that's him sitting there, like basically as
Charlie
straight
obviously
a line
sailed
as
the
you can
shortest distance.
get,
Yeah,
as straight a
what they
line
did.
as you can get, and
And
he
I
had
think-
a nice little blast coming in. But then Boris, he's gone via bloody Iceland, via Reykjavik to check things out. Has come smoking in.
Yeah.
Second
It
place.
would have been an awesome last day or two. But I think the big thing here, I reckon everything that Boris did, if you looked, he finished what was it? 7 hours. 7
10
hours
days,
behind.
20 hours. Yep.
Yeah, 7 or so hours behind Charlie. I think that what he was expecting was slightly delayed, let's say by 7-10 hours, and that changed the result. I reckon he was so close to getting this, doing what he did. You know, it was such a cool to watch. I loved it. I thought it was super cool.
Yeah.
Considering what he was the only one to really go and do that.
He got second on the leg across and second on the leg home. He's doing pretty well.
No, he's gone very well. So basically what that means to me is it's going to make for a very exciting Bondi, which is coming up later in the year. 40 boats. Traditionally, it's always been 30, but now there's 40, just due to the popularity of the sport. And that leaves about 8 or 10 that couldn't qualify for the actual race, for the Bondi, that is. So we're going to be seeing them out there. So,
of course, after Boris finished, there was a little bit of a gap with the southern crew that came through, led by Jeremy Bayou, Sebastian Simon, Thomas Riant. But then your pick, Sam Davies, had a blinder as well in its sixth. So she's up there, of course.
We should get her on the show.
Justine Matreau, friend of the show, Pip Hare with the best result ever. And at 9.
Yes.
And a shout out to 2 other Barcaradians who were sailing non-foiling boats, obviously, as James Herrera in 19th. They were in the middle of that fleet, obviously. And then our good mate, Scott Shaw.
Remember one of our questions when we had James on, what's the Gentoo?
Yes.
And he explained to us about that it's the Penguin.
The Penguin, yeah.
So I saw some footage of him coming across the line, laying down on the bow, giving the Penguin a little pat.
Perfect. And of course, Scott Shaw as well in his first official race on his own.
Yep.
Finished in a very credible 22nd. Of course, I go to see him in 2 weeks. So it was a great race.
Excellent.
Well done to.
Yeah.
Well done. All. We'll be keeping an eye on all that.
It's a good year for French sailing.
Oui.
Yeah.
It is an exceptional year.
Oui.
I'm not surprised they haven't adopted me with that sort of language going on.
With that, and the way your accent is just awesome.
I got another one here. The Geralia, gents, was sailed during the week.
Cool
so out of Saint-Tropez and then finished with the long race. So the regatta itself had all sorts, including plenty of breeze. And for those that have sailed out of Saint-Tropez, can get super rough on the wind and wave direction and the amount of bounce off all those rocks and stuff. So there were a couple of days where a few teams kind of decided the safest thing to do is stay on the dock. And that was also a bit of a theme in the long race. So none of the 100-footers, not none. None of the Wally Shentos competed in the long race, nor
it must have been fair honking.
72s. And it was plenty of breeze. The race was won by Blackjack, recently purchased Blackjack for a new owner.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So, boat's been sold.
Kept the same name.
Well, I'm guessing the long race, that was a bit of the handover. But the new owner would have been
our good mate Flano's over there.
Apart from they missed the record by 15 minutes.
Wow.
Of record 220-mile, whatever it was. Record's 15 hours. They missed it by 15 minutes. But
I remember 2014, I did that race on Wild Joe, which is basically the first of the Canning Keels. And it was 37, 38, 40 knots, mate. And the sea state, Bicey, was really interesting because it was actually coming at across the boat from the opposite direction to the wind. and with the Canning keel, it had no grip. So the boat would get to the top of the wave and it would just go sideways.
Oh, yeah.
And you're steering the thing in this, you're doing 20 plus knots and the boat's got nothing. You don't feel anything. And then all of a sudden it grabs again.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're right what you said a second ago, that the sea state in that race can really play a big effect. And it was pretty hairy at times.
So kind of the fun, just a bit of experience of the actual race. I was on an actual call with my colleagues in New Zealand, in the UK, wherever, the whole world. And as the race is going up, the call has started. Blackjack has just rounded the rock at the top of Corsica, heading for Genoa. By the time the call had ended, it was halfway to Genoa.
Wow.
Within about an hour and a half. So it's absolutely
insane.
smoking 25 knots. Yeah, beauty. So
Love
well done to winners and grinners.
Yeah.
Like
bloody
an
oath.
epic one.
Cool. I want to bring in a couple of things. First off, I think I've said it on the show before, they're going to do a full week of live coverage of the International 1 metre World Championships in October.
Yes.
And I'll be hosting.
You think the footage will be actually on the water or on the dock?
Oh no, it's pretty.
Like
it'll be a
actually
full ball.
filming the guys sailing, because you'll be waiting for a bit of fisticuffs to break out. That's all.
Oh, this is what's going on, BP.
When sport. Come on, that wouldn't happen.
No.
I've never sailed a 1 metre, right? I'm doing the commentary, right? I'm a researcher. I like to make sure I've been going down to 1 metre races for the last few weekends, right? And I'll rock up today and some bloke is looking at me going, "Who are you?" And I said, "I'm the security they've hired." He's gone, "What?"
Yeah, no fisticuffs today, boys.
And anyway, so very cool, very cool. You know how shy and retiring I am. Some poor bloke, some poor bloke today. I'm there. I've never sailed one of these things. They've sailed half a dozen races, and he's had this beautiful timber version, and I'm just going, wow. I went down to have a look. I'm just going, well, how gorgeous is that boat? So I went down and had a look, and I'm standing next to him. I said, mate, your boat's gorgeous. And he's going, yeah, but it's just slow. And I said, well, I hate to tell you, bud, but it's not the boat, it's you, the way you're sailing the thing, right? Like, and I've just gone,
comments from the super coach.
No.
Comments from the security guard.
And he looked at me.
The security guard creates his own.
The goal is to not
fisticuff.
win every race, my friend. The goal is to come third, third.
He took it well. He did. He looked at me and he said, and I said, look, apologies. I just, I'm a coach. And he's going, oh, well, can you tell me a few things? And I said, oh, yeah. So we went through a list of things and, did it. And when I left, he was miles in front. So that was good.
Nice one, super coach.
You've done it again. Jordan Spencer.
Jordan Spencer.
But what
It's
I
not
noticed,
about us, but gee, it is really in today.
No, I was really nervous saying stuff.
Proud.
Because
You
I
can
was
be proud.
nervous
Hey.
saying stuff because I had no idea. I've never said one, but I just talked about a few things. But anyway, it went well. But we've seen a lot of AC40s go and bow down in the last few weeks, right? The big launches and nosedive. 1 meters do the same thing. A little bit of pressure downwind.
Yeah, of course they do. When the gust comes from behind,
They've got the same
and then they come out
technique.
backwards.
They've got the same technique. They're just coming from lower down, and they go full bow down. And I'm just wondering, it's the same designers designing the AC40 as designing the 1 meters.
Well, could be.
Ooh.
He's grown up.
Well, it could be.
Where he started.
Funnily enough, the DF65s, 95, whatever they are,
Yeah.
had a discussion on the dock at the Newport shipyard about how big that class is here in Newport,
Yes.
as a matter of fact. So
We need to
it's
jump on it.
it's an absolute twiddle off.
Well,
It's
Twiddle
bloody-
off.
Yeah.
It's a global twiddle off.
this young fellow, the bloke I was chatting to about.
He's hired you, has he? Full time?
No. But he said he's got a 65, and he loves the 65 because there's a lot more banter in that fleet. Which I just, as soon as he said that, I was just going, oh, hello. You've got.
I wonder when you fill out the entry form, you can kind of give your own level of banter, and it gives you position on the dock where you have to stand.
Yes.
And do you have a history in being involved in any fisticuffs? And you're over in a caged area.
You got to be over in the red corner.
It's
Like
like
ice
going
hockey.
to like going to a soccer match.
You
love
got you got to go in the cage and sail from the cage.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
No, but yeah. So I just looked at the similarities. They love going bow down. Rudder pops out and then just off they go. But I'm just getting a bit into it. Just sort of give the 1 meters a bit of a plug ahead of the Worlds. That'll be in October. Speaking of Worlds, BP, let's go into your world. The last one I reckon we should talk about is the double-handed world champs, the ORC. We talked about that at the start where we were discussing the whole element of what is how they're doing the ratings. And so it's been on in Norway. As far as I can...
It's on now, right, as we speak?
I think it's been run and done. Oh, it's still going. Yeah, you're right. But anyway, the double-handed world champs underway, yeah. And they've got 3 divisions, A, B and C. So I think at the moment, like in the A's, you're looking at like 44, 45 footers. And that... Like, what's leading that? It's like a landmark 44, then a swan 45, which is interesting. And then if you go to the Bs, it's like the Figaro, the old JPK 1080s, the 1030s, Corby 33s, the Della
3600s, yeah.
Yep, so I think this is where your boat would fit in, BP, the Far X2s. A Della 31 designs in the lead, a Figaro 2 and second in that one. And then the third division, I'm just trying to work this out because have you paid much attention?
I have to say I haven't because I've been head down, butt up, doing what I'm doing. But we were talking about it a fair bit. Yep.
So this one, it's like maybe older design 30-footers, like X332, Far 30s, First 347s, Bavaria 38 Max.
I think it's a rating thing.
Yeah.
Rating band.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway.
ORC rating. I mean, the mum doesn't really hit many big numbers in those things, but they have to optimize it, obviously. So.
Yeah. So underway, it's like 340 miler race, slightly different length for depending on which division you're in.
It's a big thing.
Yeah.
It's not little races.
Yeah. It's finished actually. So those results, yeah. So I was just looking at the program. So they raced, finish on Friday. So as we're recording, they've just finished, and so they'll be going into the party and then packing up on Sunday. So yeah,
that's even in the schedule. The party and the pack up. How good's that?
Yeah.
So there's about 60 boats as far as I can work out, which is pretty good.
It's fantastic.
It's a big turnout. Yeah.
It's about 4 TPs.
It's fantastic.
Worth of crew.
It is fantastic.
There is that point, but if you've got 60 boats, you've got a big party.
Yeah,
here.
And
we had this big chat while we were there about this whole thing, and the double-handed fleet is definitely. There was a period about 2 years ago, or just before they were going down the Olympics phase. It got very professional. It got very, intense, and it kind of like backed off a little bit again.
Yeah, I'll concur.
But it has come back once that Olympic side of things sort of went away a bit, and the average person got back into it, because obviously the professionalism, or if you not the professionalism, but the level required to go out and have a bit of fun is back to sort of what we would call a club sailing level, which is good. It gets more people back into it. So it's back on the improve, and the other big one is the short-handed stuff, which is 3 to 4 people. It's getting massive.
Yep, here. Nice. So Jordan, you're on the plane Wednesday night, Sail GP.
Yep.
So we'll be discussing that. Only thing I wanted to mention there, I think today, specifically over this weekend, I saw Phil Robertson doing like a 100-mile downwinder on his wing foil.
Oh. Yep.
But raising a bit of awareness.
Yep. I got an email about that during the week, about a week and a bit ago, asking if we want to do a bit of it, get him on and chat, just because he's, but we've had Phil on. It'd be interesting. Like it's a pretty big.
He
thing.
still won't come on because he's worried you're going to tell him how to start again.
Yeah, I know. I'm such a wanker. I do not know why people let me talk. I do not understand it. But anyway,
Mate, you just told a story. You went up to a complete stranger in
Why?
a 1 meter and told him that he can't sail.
Why would I do that? Because I'm trying to be helpful.
Because you want to help.
Yes.
No, you're trying to help. You're trying to help. Exactly.
You wear your heart on your shoulder, mate.
Yeah. It should be.
You need help, bro. You need me. That's what you. That's the way you roll.
Yeah. I think if you remember Tomo and Ocean Crusaders discussion, they've partnered up with the Canadian Sail GP team.
Fantastic.
And so I think Tomo sent me a note just about how he's going to, Tomo and Robbo, he's going to be doing that from Denmark to Sweden on the weekend of the 15th June. So he's doing that right now. So, yeah, watch out for the ferries.
Very good.
Watch out for the ferries.
Yeah, we're up. Take your passport.
Yeah. Very
good.
cool.
Very good.
Rightio. Happy with that, boys?
Oh,
yeah, good on you, lads.
Cool. All right. Great work. Thanks, everyone, for listening. Now, here's a big thing that we do. If you are a fan of bar karate or enjoy bar karate and you're wanting to be the best in the sport or you're just trying to improve yourself, we recommend Radix Nutrition. So our friends at Radix Nutrition are making some of the best food out there, freeze-dried food. It's perfect fit for our sport. And if you go to their website, Radix Nutrition, and use the code BARKARATE on their discount code, as a discount code, one word, you'll get a discount on us. And, enjoy our fabulous friends at Radix Nutrition.
Performance through health.
You're welcome.
Through health. You're welcome.
You're welcome. That's it. Yeah. Good on you.
Remember to send a video in so we can get Jody not winning a jacket. That's our goal for the month. Everyone's goal for the month.
Go, Jody. Go for it, mate. You've got the vote already.
Yeah. See you later.